Hello and welcome back to Skill Learn. In our today's video, we are going to start our new lesson. Okay, and the name of the lesson is on conditional formatting. Okay, and the lesson number is 19. All right, so this is lesson number 19, and the name of the lesson is conditional formatting. Right now, as the name suggests, what do you mean by formatting? I think I have already taught you a little bit about formatting, right? So here, if you focus on this home tab, so under the home tab, we have a proper full-fledged formatting section, right? This particular section where you are able to fill in color, you are able to fill in, change the text color, right? You are able to add borders, you are able to define the alignments, but these are basic formatting. Okay, so these are basic formatting. But what is the difference between basic formatting and conditional formatting? That would be the question in your mind. That if Rashid, you might say that, hey Rashid, you have already taught me that how do I format my data, right? And when we say formatting, we basically mean that we are beautifying the data, right? So when, like in the previous videos you might have watched, that when we say formatting, we always understand it as beautifying the data. But in real world, if you'll ask me, this is not what actually formatting data means. Okay, so there are two types of formatting. One is basic formatting, which I have done currently with this particular data set. So here, if you'll see, I have made the sales rep name as bold, region as bold, then sales as bold, and then I have central aligned all these information. Then we have certain informations like the sales representative name, like Bob, Harry, Joe, Julie, and all, right? So the name is left aligned and the data is right aligned. So all these are the basic formattings that we apply. Now, what do you mean by conditional formatting? So conditional formatting is basically that whenever you format your data based on a condition. Okay, based on condition. Now the condition could be anything, right? We can say that if x is greater than y, this is condition, right? So whenever you put logical argument while formatting your data, then you call it as conditional formatting. All right, so this is what we understand by conditional formatting. Now although this entire topic was supposed to be taught earlier, but I thought like I'm going to create a dedicated video on conditional formatting, and in that particular way you'll be able to actually understand it better. But before that, I think let me close this recording part. All right, right. So actually I'm taking this entire session on Zoom, and because I get a lot of flexibility to write. Okay, so that's the tool that I use generally to record the lectures and all. Now, here if you'll focus, as I said, that conditional formatting is nothing. It's basically formatting your data, organizing your data based on a particular condition. Now, we have a full-fledged dedicated section for conditional formatting. So we have the styles section under the home tab, right? And under that, we have an option called as conditional formatting. So this is the option that you use for conditional formatting. Now, as the name suggests, and as I told you, that it will be happening based on a particular logic, right? So if it is going to happen based on a particular logic, then let's try to do it together. So we have a data set here, which is, I've already elaborated about the data, and the same data set we used in our previous video as well, where we talked about data sorting and filtration. Now, when you click on conditional formatting, can you see you have a lot of options here? The options are like highlight cell rules, then you have top bottom rules, then you have data bar, color scale, icon set, then you have new rule, clear rules, manage rules. So we are going to talk about each of them one by one. Okay, so the first one that you get to see here is basically it is this particular one, right, which is highlight cell rules. Okay, so depending upon, now when you are saying that you are trying to highlight a cell, you need to provide a condition, right? As I said, that conditional formatting simply means that you need to provide a condition. So here if you see this particular one, it says that greater than, less than, between, equal to, then we talk about a text that contains a date occurring, duplicate values and all, right? And I think in the in the excitement of teaching you the conditional formatting, I forgot that what are the different topics that we are going to learn under this conditional formatting topic. Okay, so let me re-explain that to you. So this particular lesson that we are currently studying, it is going to majorly focus on conditional formatting, and the topics that we are going to cover would be, so there are going to be total 3 topics. Okay, so let me write it down for you. So the topics that we are going to cover would be topic number 1. Okay, just hold on for a second. Right, so the topic that we are going to focus is introduction, that I was giving you previously. So introduction to conditional formatting. Conditional formatting. Then we are going to talk about in the second topic, which is how do you use formula, how to use formula for conditional formatting. And then the third topic is going to be the advanced example. Okay, so the third and last topic is going to be advanced example, and under that we are going to talk about how do you create a dynamic search, and how do you highlight every row. So let's say if I want to highlight nth row, when I say nth row means let's say I want to highlight row number 2, row number 17, then row number 19, row number 25. So how I'm going to do all those things, that we are going to talk about in the advanced example option. Okay, so yeah, let's come back to our topic that we were discussing, that was introduction about conditional formatting, right? So introduction to conditional formatting, this is the tab which you need to follow in order, or you need to use when you are trying to format the data based on a particular condition. So I was just explaining you that there is multiple options, and the first option is highlighting the cells based on a particular rule. So the first one, let's use that, okay, which says greater than. Okay, now I'm going to set a rule of greater than in this particular box. Okay, so let me highlight it with a thick border. So just focus on this particular cell, which is I2. Now I'm going to put a condition here which says that if this particular cell, okay, if that particular cell is greater than 30, okay, if it is greater than 30, then you should fill let's say a dark green text. Okay, you need to fill it with green fill with dark green text should be there. So this is what you need to define. Now the moment I hit OK, now you would say that Rashid, nothing happened here. So you need to first enter a data, right? So if I enter 10, nothing happened. Let me zoom in as well. I think visually it's not very clear to you. So now I entered 10, nothing happened. I entered 20, nothing happened. But if I enter 31, can you see? Conditional formatting got applied. Why? Because in the condition that I had added, I had specified very clearly that it should highlight those, like it should only highlight the cell when the number is greater than 30. Same way, we have other options as well, which is available. So if it is less than something, so let's say if I want to highlight this particular next cell, okay, so I'm going to use the next cell which is less than, okay, and then I'm going to say that if it is less than 10, okay, then in that particular case you fill light, you need to fill light red fill with dark red text, okay, and hit OK. Now the fill happened, but like if you'll see, I know that the data is getting filled here. Let me just do Control-Z and use some other cell. Okay, so let's use this particular cell. Now in this particular cell, I'm going to use conditional formatting, and then I'm going to say that if it is less than 20, right, then you need to fill light red fill with dark red text. Okay, so I know that it is getting filled and the previous one was not getting filled, because that's how the default behavior of Excel is. Because when you put less than condition, it will fill some information. If you put greater than, then it will not. Okay, so I'm going to make you understand the difference as well. So let's say if I put 30 here, so can you see no fill happened, right? But if I fill let's say 10, then in that particular case it is going to fill a color. Now you would say that, hey Rashid, when you were giving me the previous example, in that particular case, when you added a condition in this particular cell, so before entering the data, the cell was normal, right? It was something like with a broader, or I would say the thicker outside border, but there was nothing filled within it, right? But when you used this particular condition, less than condition, then why did it actually filled some in like before actually entering any data, there was already a red fill which was present. Now you might think that why Excel is functioning like this. This is what the default behavior of Excel is, depending upon the condition that you select. Okay, so again, I'm going to make you understand. I'm going to redo the same thing. So let's say I'm going to select this particular cell, fill it up with the outer border, and then I'm going to use this particular cell, okay, which is greater than. Now when I use greater than, so can you see there are so many options here, and the one that I used was green fill with dark green text, okay, and earlier it was light red fill with dark red text. Now when I select this and hit OK, okay, so you need to, sorry, apologies, we need to enter a data as well, okay, so we'll enter 50 and hit OK. Now when I do that, nothing happened, right? And if you'll see, until and unless I don't enter a data greater than 50, no fill will happen here. So if I add 10, if I add 20, nothing will happen. But if I add 51, it will automatically get changed to green. But if I go here, select less than option, and if I say, use this particular condition, light red fill with dark green red text, or if I use the same thing, the same condition which we used earlier as well, okay, and then I'm going to say 10 and hit OK. So when you're using less than option, then it is filling it prior, right? Although you have not entered any text, then also it is making a fill. But if you use greater than, then until unless you don't enter the data, it is not going to make a fill, okay? So this is the difference. Although this is not a very major difference that you need to remember, but this is one of the difference that that you need to keep in your mind when you are using conditional formatting. Okay, now I hope you have understood it. Let me clear this up, go to conditional formatting, and let me clear all rules and delete as well. Okay, so I've cleared everything. Now let's use our existing data set which we have. So this is the data set that we have. Now I'm going to apply conditional formatting in this particular cell, okay, or in this particular range that we have. Now I'll go to conditional formatting. I'm going to use the same highlight cell rules, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use, let's say, between one. Okay, so what if I'll say that if the number is between 500 to 700, okay, so if it is between 500 to 700, then you need to fill red text, okay, or you need to fill red border, okay, or you need to fill, let's do custom formatting, okay. So the moment you do custom formatting, then the format cell dialog box opens up, and I've already told you about that. Remember, I've already taught you format cell dialog box. So let me make it bold italic, okay, and then it should be like let's say the fill should be green, okay, and the font, let's not use any font, then let it be, and hit OK. Now the moment you do that and hit OK, can you see the condition got applied, right? So this is what you actually do using like this is how you use conditional formatting. And then when you want to highlight a particular cell, then you can use greater than, less than, between, and even we have, like, let's say this particular one which says text that contains. Now what is this text that contains? This basically means, like, if you it will not going to work on the number range, okay, it is only going to work with the text data. So again, I'm going to select the text data, go to highlight cell rules, and then I'm going to select text that contains, and I'll say Bob, okay, or I'll say, let's say I'm going to use the wildcard characters. So I'm going to say that anyone which has any data which has R in it, okay, you just highlight that. So can you see Harry, and then Martha got highlighted here. If I say then highlight those which has S in it, okay, so Stan got highlighted. So this is what you're going to use. This is how you can use that a text that contains conditional formatting option as well. Then you have top or bottom rules, okay, but before that, one more option that I want to show you here. Let me copy this, okay, let me copy this, and then let me create the duplicates intentionally, okay. So I'm going to create duplicates here intentionally. I'm going to select this data, go to conditional formatting, and then I'm going to select duplicate value. The moment you select duplicate value, can you see the duplicate values got highlighted? 391 is duplicate, 783 is duplicate, 430 is duplicate, 772, 906, and you can just change the fill, okay. So you can just make it red, and the moment you hit OK, so you'll be able to get like the cells get highlighted which has duplicate entries into it. So can you see 391, 783, 430, 772, 906. So these got highlighted because it has duplicate entries into it, okay. So you can use this conditional formatting in order to find duplicate values as well. You have more rules, so you can set more rules as well. I'm going to talk about more rules uh, very soon in this lecture itself, right? Then we have the next option, which is top or bottom rules. Okay, so if you want to find out top 10 items, okay, or if you want to find out top 10%, or if you want to find top bottom 10 items or bottom 10%, average, below average, so that you can do. So let me use this above average option here. So let me what is the average of this entire data set? So let's use the average formula. I've already taught you about average, right? So hit tab, select this particular range, close the parenthesis. So the average is 573.4286. So this is the average that we have generated. This particular one is the average value of the entire range. Now if this is the average, so I want to find out that which different numbers that we have here are above the average value. Okay, so let me select this entire range, go to conditional formatting, and then I'm going to select above average. The moment you select it, and if it is above average, then let me do green fill. Again, hit OK. Now can you see 783, 772, 906, 782, 991? These all are above the average value, right? So this is also how you can use this particular option, which is top or bottom rules. Okay, if you want to find top 10%, so that also you can do. So select this entire range, go to conditional formatting, and then top 10%, and change it to light yellow fill with dark yellow color. So these all are the top 10%, right? So this is how you're going to actually use the conditional formatting in Excel. All right, I hope you have understood it. If you haven't, then please book a one-to-one mentoring session with me or any of the skill learn mentor, and we'll be able to help you with all your doubts. Now the next option is data bar. Okay, but before that, let me clear this formatting. So you click on conditional formatting, click on clear rules, and then click rules, like click on clear rules for selected cells, right? Now the next option is data bars. Now when you select data bar, so can you see you are going to get like kind of you are generating a bar chart within a particular range. Okay, so if I select this, so can you see which one is the highest bar? This is this one 991, right? Let me point an arrow here if I can. So this particular one I think let me do one thing. Let me select this. Why am I unable to select the arrow? Apologies. Yeah, let me do one thing. I'm going to use Control Z and let me use a highlighter here. So this particular data, it is the highest one, right? 991. So you get to see the biggest bar here. And which one is the lowest bar? The lowest bar that you get to see is 157. Right? So the bar option in conditional formatting, the data bar actually gives you the bars depending upon the value, the highest, lowest value. So it gives you the kind of a bar chart here, depending upon the data that you have here. Right, and then under that you have a lot of different options, right? So you can just use different colors like green, this one solid fill, then you have light fill options, gradient fill options as well, right? Then the next option that you get to see is color scale. Okay, now what is this color scale? Before I talk about it, let me clear all the rules from the selected cell and erase this as well. Right, now if I select this entire data, go to color scale, so what it will give you, it will automatically fill depending upon the color gradient. Okay, so the lowest one, which is 157, right? Can you see? So it got filled in red color. Then the highest one, which is 906, got filled in green color. Okay, so you can use different fills here depending upon the condition that you wish to put. Okay, and accordingly the cell is going to get highlighted. Okay, you can set your own rules as well. Then you have the icon. Now you might ask me that, hey Rashid, what's the like why these icons are used? What is the use of these icons? Okay, so this is something that you need to understand in detail. Okay, so let me make you understand that what does this icon means. So the green icon that you get to see, the green icon which is pointing upwards. Okay, so the green icon which is pointing upwards, it indicates that the data is greater than 66.7%. Okay, so basically what it does, you have three different colors, right? Green, which is pointing upward, red which is pointing downward, and then you have the rightward pointing arrow, this particular one which is yellow in color, right? Yellow in color. So this particular one indicates 33%, 33.33%. So if anyone which has like basically red color, so it is lower or equal to 33.33%. If it is yellow, then it falls in between, which is between 33.33 to 66.66%. So it falls between these two ranges. Okay, so if any data has, so if you let's say if you divide any data, so if you divide any data by 3, so the data would be like you have 33.33%, then you become 66.66%, and then you have 100%, right? So the one which is having red in color is greater than this particular value. The one which has yellow is falling between these two range, and then the one which is red, it is going below the 33% average. Okay, so this is what this color indication actually gives you. Okay, so let me erase this and show you that what exactly this entire thing means. So if I select this range, go to conditional formatting, icon set, and then set on more rules. Now can you see if it is less than sorry, not 66, they have rounded off, so I was saying 66.66, but they have rounded off and made it 67%. So if it is less than 67%, okay, and falling between, right, greater than or equal to 33%, then it is going to fall in this particular range. Okay, but if it is greater than or equal to 67%, then it is going to fall in green color, and if it is less than 33%, then it is going to follow in this particular red range. Okay, and that's how these are the icon sets that you have available here, which you can use. All right, so this is how you can use the icon set as well, which is available in the under the conditional formatting. So I hope you have understood about these options, all these the highlight, cell range, data bars, color scales, icon set, and all. Now let's talk about the next, that how do you use formulas. Okay, how do you use formulas in order to set conditional formatting. Okay, so here if you'll see, we have an option which is called as new rule. Okay, so under new rule you will be able to actually use formulas in order to do conditional formatting. Okay, so let me click on new rule. The moment you click on new rule, can you see we got a pop-up which says that format all cells based on their values, format cell only cells that contains. So here you can set up your own for like own options, and under these options we have here which one the one which says use a formula to determine which cells to format. Okay, like the ones that you get to see here, format all cells based on their values. Okay, so you can just set lowest value, you can set 2 color scale, you can set 3 color scales. So I'm going to talk about these as well. Okay, so format all cells based on their value, format only cells that contains, all these options are going to be discussed. But first let me explain this particular one, which is use a formula to determine which cells to format. Okay, so what you can simply do is that you can put up a formula here, and the moment, so let's say if I say this particular cell, which is cell D3, okay, and I don't want to fix that, no, like it should not be fixed. Okay, I want to check all the cells. So in that particular case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove the the dollar sign. The dollar sign is generally indicating the absolute and relative cell reference. Remember, I've already taught you about that relative and absolute cell reference. So here, what I'm going to do is that I have selected this particular cell, and if it is greater than 200, okay, then you format the data. And how you're going to format, the fill should be purple. Okay, the border, let me make the change, so it should be italic. Okay, and then the color, let's keep it automatic only and hit OK. Now this is how it is going to appear. So if it is greater than 200, so it is going to actually make all these formatted, right? So what I did is that based upon a condition or a formula, I actually formatted the data, right? So I'm again going to go to conditional formatting, go to new rule, and then again click on use a formula. Okay, so now if I'm going to set a new formula, which is if condition. Okay, so if you use if this particular cell, let me remove the dollar sign, if it is greater than let's use ifs condition, let's use two condition. Okay, so I'm going to use the ifs formula. So if it is greater than 300, or let's say 400, Okay. But actually the formula is not appearing, right? Generally whenever we use a formula, then it gives us a conditional logic, right? So that is not appearing here. So it is always good to use the formula outside first. Okay, so equal to ifs, hit tab to autocomplete. What is the first? So this is the cell. If it is greater than or greater than 400, right, close the parenthesis, right? And the what is the value if true? If it is true, then I'm going to return true. Okay, and the second condition that I'm going to provide here is that if it is less than, if it is less than, let's say 400, no, if it is less than 900, then it should return me false. Okay, so this is what I am using right now. So this is the condition that I provided. So this particular one, is it greater than 400? No. Is it less? Like if it is greater than, if it is not greater than 400, then it return, it should ideally return false. And if it is less than 900, then it should return false. So which condition got met here? I'm so sorry, I think this is not the right one, this particular one. Okay, so I'll hit enter. So it returned false because it is less than 900, but it is not greater than, if it would have been greater than 400, it would have returned true. So that's what I have used. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drag it down. Now see how many actually is giving you the true value. This one 430, then 772, 906. So I'm going to use the same formula. Just I'm going to copy it. Okay, select this entire range. After that, I'm going to use conditional formatting, click on new rule, and then I'm going to use a formula to determine the value. So I'm going to copy paste that, format the data. So I'm going to make it bold italic. The fill should be, let's say this particular should be the fill. Okay, if you want to put a effect as well. Okay, so let's say I want to use this particular, no, this effect. Okay, so I want to use this effect. And the moment I hit OK, so this is how it will be appearing. And the moment I hit OK, can you see all the data got highlighted, which is actually following the condition that I have added, right? So this is what we actually want to do. So if you have multiple cells, if you have multiple cell references, in that particular case, you can like if you have multiple data, like if you have a particular range, and if you want to fill data based on multiple conditions, so in that particular case, you need to use that. Now let's do one more thing. Okay, if I say that if the data is greater than 150, sorry, if it is greater than 300, but if it is less than 500, then only you highlight those cells. Okay, so I'm going to use two conditions here. Okay, so I'm going to use and formula as well, and I'm going to use if formula as well. So I'm going to use if, and under if I'm going to use and formula. Okay, so this is why I'm doing it, because I want to teach you guys how to use the logical formulas and how to use multiple formulas together. So if this particular cell, if it is greater than 300, which is great. Okay, so the first one I have provided, but this same cell, it should be less than 500 as well. Okay, so if this is the condition, if this is meeting, then it should return me true, else it should return me false. Okay, so this is the condition that I want to put in, and I hit enter. Now can you see it returned false? Same way. No, I'm so sorry, this is not how it should be. So I need to change it, because I need to use D3, and here also it should be D3, and I hit enter. Now this is false, and if I drag it down, so can you see this is true because it is greater than 300, but it is less than 500. Same way, it is greater than 300, which is fine, but it is not less than 500, right? So now I'm going to use this particular condition in order to format the data. So let me copy this, and then I'm going to clear the formatting from this particular data, and then let me clear the style. Okay, and let's use conditional formatting, new rule, use a formula, right? And I'm going to paste the formula here, and then let me set the format as well. So I'm going to format it in this particular color. The effect should be, let's say, diagonal, and the next color should be this one, right? Hit OK, and if you hit OK, so can you see These got highlighted because it is greater than 300 but less than 500, greater than 300 less than 500, greater than 300 less than 500. Okay, so this is how you use formulas in order to set the conditional formatting. I hope you have understood it. If you need any help, any support, any practice data, please reach out to me and don't hesitate. Okay, I am also not a perfect guy. Okay, everyone makes mistakes. So if I have made any mistakes while teaching you, and if you have been able to find that out, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me and talk to me that, sir, this is not correct, or that is not correct that you have taught. Okay, now the remaining topics that we have, let's discuss that as well. But before that, let me let me remove this, clear the rule. Right. So when we were setting new rules, so there were other options as well, right? These options that I was talking about, that we talked about use a formula and determine which cell to format. But there are other options as well, right? Format a cell, format only cells that contains, then format only top or bottom, format only values that are above or below average, then format only unique or duplicate value. So these all we have already learned. We have already learned previously in this, but in these options. Okay, so like highlighting cells based on condition, top, data bar, color scales, then you have duplicates and also, can you see these all we have already learned about it. So I was that's why I was not repeating, and I said that I'm going to only focus on that uh, uh, how do you format a particular range or cell using data, but any how do you format a cell or range based upon formulas. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to teach you that as well. So let's do one thing. Let's try to do certain examples on that as well. I selected a range and then I clicked on setting up a new rule. Okay, now when you are trying to set up a new rule here, the very first thing that you get to see, which says that format all cells based on their value. Okay, so you can set 2 color scale as well, you can set 3 color scale as well. Okay, so this is how you can scale, and you can set the lowest value as well. You can define the midpoint as well, and then you can define the highest value as well. So the lowest value in my case, like it is going to automatically read. Okay, you don't have to actually define it, and the moment you hit OK, so can you see the color scales got applied. So the first option was for the color scales. Now let me clear the rules from here. Go to conditional formatting and click on next rule. Now the next rule is that if you want to format based on let's say below or above average, that also I've taught you, right? If you want to format based on that, if the cell contains a certain information. Okay, so the cell value is between, let's say, 200 and 500, then only you highlight those cells with this particular color, this bold color, and the pattern style should be something like this. Okay, and I hit OK, and the moment you hit OK, so these got highlighted because these are matching the condition. Okay, so that's the only thing, like you're doing the same work that you were doing from here. The only thing is that you're setting up your own rules. That's it. Okay, so I hope you have understood about how do you use conditional formatting in Excel, how do you use formulas in conditional formatting, right? And then we are going to now move ahead to see certain examples about conditional formatting. Okay, so now let's focus on the formulas. Now I want you to focus on understanding the advanced conditional formatting option that we have in Microsoft Excel. Like how we can use the advanced conditional formatting option is something that we need to understand here. Okay, now if you'll just see, basically what happens is that whenever you are trying to let's suppose you want to highlight the nth row, every nth row, not nth row, nth row. So let me first write it down here. So we are going to understand 2 advanced formulas. Okay, so we are going to understand 2 advanced formula. The first advanced formula is going to be highlight every nth row. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss. Now what do we mean by nth row? I'll make you understand that as well. And the second topic that we're going to follow is creating dynamic search. Okay, so these 2 examples we are going to do using the conditional formatting. Okay, now first of all, what do we understand by nth row? Okay, so let's take an example that I tell you that I only want you to highlight this row, then this row, then this particular row. So every alternate row, so starting from first, then third, then fifth, then seventh, then ninth, I want you to actually highlight this. Okay, so how you're going to do that? Like currently we have a small data set. So let me just clear all the rule. So currently we have a very small data set. So what you can do is that you can just select and fill it, right? You can select and fill it. But if we have a lot of data entry, right, and wherein you have let's say there are more than let's say 5,000 records or 1,500 records, this option is not viable or feasible, right? So in that particular case, we will have to use the conditional formatting option, and under that we are going to highlight the nth row option. Okay, so basically what we are going to do is that we are going to use the Excel formula here. Now the question might appear that, Rashid, how the Excel formula can be used, or what is the Excel formula that we need to use? And that's why I did not teach you like I did not taught you the same thing, like the conditional formatting topic, earlier in the beginning of the Excel module. Okay, because you need to understand for how to use Excel formulas in order to be able to use like do these kind of things. So now let's focus. What we are going to do is that we are going to use the Excel formula, and we are going to use two different formula. Okay, so we are going to use the mod formula, and then we are going to use the row formula. Okay, so these two formulas are going to be used today, and based upon those formulas we are going to actually set things up here. Now let me do one thing. Let me do Control C, and I want you to focus here. Okay, so we are going to use the mod formula and the row formula. So let's use so let's say we are going to use mod. Okay, now what does this mod formula does is that it gives you the remainder, right? When you divide a number with anything, right? So it gives you a remainder. Now what we want to do is that we want to divide the row. So we are going to use the row. Now when you are using the row formula, it actually returns you the number of the row, right? So in this particular case, it is going to return me 3. So if I just select this entire cell and hit F9, then can you see it returns me 3, which says that this entire formula is going to return me 3. And if I'm going to divide 3 with 2, so if I'm going to divide 3 with 2, it is going to give me a reminder of 1. Okay, so I'm going to say if this is equal to 1. So just try to focus here, that what exactly did it do. What I'm going to do here, just in this entire formula, what I did is, like, I used two formulas, mod and row. So row returns me the row number, right? So it returns me the row number, and mod formula, it returns me the remainder or reminder, whatever you want to use. This is what the mod formula actually returns. Now I use two formulas together, and what I did is that first I used the mod formula, and the mod formula actually returns me the remainder. But what I said is that you first divide the row. So what I wanted to do is that I wanted to highlight every alternate one, right? So I wanted to highlight this, then this. So this row is going to return me row S3, and then if I divide it by 2, then it is going to return me 1. Okay, but if this is the cell, okay, if this is the row, then I'm going to divide 4 by 2, and it is not going to return me 1. So this is how you're going to use a pattern. Okay, so you'll have to actually recognize a pattern in order to do that, in order to be able to actually use the conditional formatting. So that's what I did here is I said that divide the row number with 2, and if it returns 1, then the formula holds true. Okay, so if you'll just see, if I just select this and drag it down, so for every alternate row it will give you true. Can you see, for every alternate row it gives me true. So I think this is the formula that we are going to use for the conditional formatting highlighting. Okay, so we are going to copy this. Okay, then select this entire data, go to conditional formatting, click on new rule, and under this go to use formula, put the formula, and then set the format. Okay, so I want to set the format as orange color, or let's say green color, and I hit OK. And then again when I hit OK, can you see every alternate cell got highlighted? So in Hindi we say jadoo, right? So this is how the magic happens. Same way, if I don't want to start it from here, from this particular cell, I want to start from this one, this particular one, or I want to highlight this one. So I want it to be highlighted from the even perspective, okay, not the odd number cell. I don't want to highlight the odd number, I want to highlight the even number. So in that particular case, we are going to go to conditional formatting, go to edit rule. Okay, so click on manage rule basically, and then sorry, I'm so sorry, first we'll have to select the range na? And then click on that, click on manage rules, and then you simply do one thing, click on edit the like edit the rule. Okay, select the rule and then edit it. So here, what if I say 0, then if you hit OK and then hit OK, so can you see now the even number is getting highlighted, not the odd number. Now what I want to do is I want to simply search Bob here, and the moment I search Bob, it should automatically give me, it should automatically get all the entries for Bob highlighted. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to use formulas here. Okay, so the first formula that I'm going to use is search. Okay, so search, search formula is there in Excel, and what does it say? It says that you find a particular text, so I need to first fix it. Okay, then in which particular so this entire like in this particular cell, which is cell B3. Okay, and I need to fix only the column. Okay, so I don't want it to be moving here and there. So for that, I'm going to use F4. Okay, and then I'm going to fix the column, and then I'm going to close the parenthesis and hit enter. Okay, so it is giving me a value error. Okay, why it is giving me? So it will return 1 for those where you will be able to find Bob. Same way, if I make it make a change to Martha, so it is going to automatically change and only highlight Martha here. But I don't want this value error, so I'm going to convert it into number. So I'm going to use is number formula here. Okay, close the parenthesis and hit enter. So if it is not happening, then it is going to return me false. Okay, now if I type let's say Bob here, and if I select this entire formula, copy it, and then if I select this entire range, go to conditional formatting, set up a new rule using the formula. Okay, and then if I format it and I want to highlight it with yellow color, and the moment you hit OK, can you see all the data for Bob got highlighted? Same way, if I want to highlight let's say Martha, so I'm going to add Martha, and all the data for Martha got highlighted. Then if I want to, let's say, find out Julie, so I'm adding Julie, and then entry for Julie gets highlighted. Okay, so this is how you're going to use and create a dynamic search filtration option using conditional formatting, right? So I hope you have understood it. If you have any questions, any doubt, please feel free to book a one-to-one session with me or any of the Skill Learn mentor, and we will be able to help you with all your doubts. Thank you so much for watching the video.